Yeah, it's working. Great, 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 great. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the first Creator Corner live stream. Today we are live streaming. We're going to be covering creator news. We're going to be covering specifically Bryce Hall and what he's been doing. As of recent, we're also going to be talking about Johnny Valentine. I'm sure quite a few of you know him. If you don't know him by name, you'll know him by his face, his stare, his Rizz. And then we're going to be talking about influencers in politics and how they're making their money right now, getting paid sort of like violating election campaign rules. We'll look into all of that in a little bit. But I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at all these different monitors, make sure everything's great, but it seems like everything's good. So we're going to go ahead and get into the news today. So specifically, we're going to be talking about Bryce Hall. So if you don't know Bryce Hall got big back in 2020 during the pandemic. Basically, he was starting to grow before the pandemic, but that's when he really took off. And he was known on Musically, then TikTok, as the guy who was seen as the most attractive man alive for some reason, who was all over everybody's For You pages doing different dances and stuff. And just if you didn't know him, this is the type of content he made.
What's up, Shay? What's up, Lynn? I hit it raw. She see me in public like, what's up, friend? She talk too much, but I still hit, cause she a fool on that.
Yeah, so that is who Bryce Hall used to be. And I say used to be because he has changed a lot as a content creator. So actually, if we profile and we go to his most popular videos ever, all his top videos are Addison Rae, who was his girlfriend at the time. He used to date Addison Rae. You look, every single one of these videos was an Addison Rae video, except for, I believe, this one. So, you know, over time, he did mature a little bit, right? I actually started seeing him on my For You page, and I started, you know, actually kind of liking this guy. I'd see stuff about his post on LinkedIn and everything. He seemed like he was a guy that was really maturing a lot. He seemed like a guy that, you know, had gotten famous on the dancing app and then magically became a better man out of it. That was until recently. And when I mean recently, let's just take a look at this video specifically. Oh, great. We're getting an ad. We're getting a Home Depot ad for anyone that
Visit HomeDepot.com for decor days.
No, we're not sponsored by Home Depot. But once this loads
During decor days, only on HomeDepot.com.
And you know, we have all different kinds of stars than we did 10 years ago and 20 years ago. It used to be a little simpler. Now it's a whole different world, but the numbers they get are incredible. Bryce Hall is here, one of the biggest. Bryce, where's Bryce? Bryce Hall. Where are you, Bryce? Stand up, Bryce. Come on up here, Bryce. Get up here. Come on. What the hell? We have to have Bryce. You know, he does an interview with people. Come on up if you want, Bryce. Come on. What the hell? We have a lot of time, right? Come on, Bryce. Look how young he is, how handsome he is. Come on up, Bryce.
how young he is. He is the most handsome of handsome men. Bryce, look at Bryce. Look at Bryce's face as he walks up
This guy
onto
has
the podium.
44 million people watching him,
Where's he at?
and he's great.
Hurry up. Here he is. So Bryce comes up here. He's getting on stage.
We need Trump back. Really bad. Make America great again.
All right, so that's been Bryce Hall recently. He went from Mr. Dancing on TikTok and dressing up as a girl with Trump, and saying we need Trump back, and being within like 3 inches of the president. So how did this happen? How did we get here? Well, that's a good question. Basically, it stems back to this video that he posted back in July.
If Kamala Harris is my president after Joe Biden was my president, I'm just gonna off myself.
So that video was posted 3 days after Joe Biden dropped out of the election. And a lot of people online had major reactions after Joe Biden dropped out of the election and Kamala became the nominee. And Bryce is one of those people. Up until this point, Bryce had made like small little comments about the economy or how things were going on, but he hadn't made any like political statement until he says he's going to game end himself if Kamala becomes president. So Bryce got quite a bit of backlash from this. And, you know, it's because, you know, he's the TikTok guy. He's the dance guy. And then all of a sudden, he has now become extremely political. And I'm not saying like he didn't support Trump before. It's kind of obvious just based on who he is, who he's dated, that he was most likely a Trump supporter this whole time. He just kept quiet about it. And that's how most influencers are. And most influencers don't really get political or anything. You know, it's kind of the policy, unless you're specifically a political influencer, to not get too political, or you're going to start alienating part of your audience or cultivating an audience that you yourself probably won't even like. But after the backlash, Bryce Hall responded to all of this going on.
Yeah, 360. When you're in the mirror, do you know what you say?
I thought my video made it quite clear, so I'm not voting for Kamala Harris, so you could probably figure it out. So my video made a lot of people mad, and I apologize, but I feel like it offended a lot of people that aren't even old enough to vote. Like this video of the chick that made the video. Does she even? You look 15 max. You can't even vote. Like, sorry for age shaming. But all jokes aside, I think we should all just lighten up, myself included. I think we shouldn't get mad at people for having opinions. You know, like I think we should all just vibe, be friends. Like I would be friends with you.
It's like the problem I have with this is not necessarily that he's saying he's supporting Trump. It's that he made a specific video, going to get a specific reaction, and then responding in the way he's responding to all this. It's like he wants attention. It's obvious. And, you know, it's basically, I believe it's because he has fallen off over time. You know, I didn't look at the exact numbers, but, you know, all his most popular videos, if we take a look at his most popular videos, all of these were back in 2020, 2021. These numbers are unheard of now on TikTok. This is ridiculous. And then we go, even now, after he's gotten a little surge back, he's surpassing like 1 to 5 million on most videos. Before he made these comments, I believe it was even less. Seems like, it actually seems like it's about the same, really. It's just been probably 10% of what he used to get on all of these videos. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing at some point, you know, you can't just, because like, I don't think anyone on TikTok nowadays can really hit what these numbers were, right? Mostly because these numbers are from Addison Rae back in when Addison Rae was also in her prime. But it's like, it's impossible to hit these numbers now. And not only that, but he just makes a completely different style of content now, which I actually enjoy more. I liked seeing him show up on my For You page and talk about stuff. So it's kind of gotten a little weird when he tries to take this Trump grift as a way to gain more views and gain more followers again. But yeah, so basically after he made that video, he just made video after video of just being really unapologetic about everything. So here's another video that he's responding.
Bryce Hall coming out and
I didn't come out. Did you come out? I've seen about 1 million videos of people just shitting on my life because I said that I was going to vote for Trump. After watching all these videos, like you guys changed my perspective on everything. So I am now gonna, there's a few things that I need to change. And the first thing to legitimize everything is I got to change my Instagram bio. So now that that's done, and now we're good. So no, but all jokes aside, let's, here. If you are a Kamala Harris supporter and you're obviously over 18 to 24, because according to her, all 18 to 24-year-olds are just stupid. And that's one thing I actually do agree with Kamala on. If you can say something that changes my mind, my perspective, I'll vote for Kamala. I will. I'll even like post it. Until that happens, Trump 2024, baby. If you're not stitching this video to try to sway my perspective, click the link in my bio. It's the first 10 minutes of my movie with 50 Cent and Hannah Stocking.
Yeah, as you can tell, this is more engagement farming. He literally said, stitch this video with more videos responding to me. It's slightly rage bait. I mean, big influencer comes out for Trump is always going to be slight rage bait, especially in Gen Z. But when he's specifically saying, like, stitch the video and then give me a reason. And there's probably actually videos out there stitched to this that give solid reasons and give actual policy, because one thing you're going to learn about Bryce is he knows absolutely zero policy about Trump. But it's clear engagement farming. And I think the issue I necessarily take with it is it's very isolating to your audience, right? It's going to create a scenario where you have a lot of supporters who are going to vote for Kamala that now are like feeling alienated by you saying like, oh yeah, like everyone who's going to vote for Kamala is the enemy of me. And he continued on with this, trying to, what?
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is
What
going
is
to be
wrong?
cleaning your toilet?
Continue
Donald
without
Trump?
logging in. Okay, sure.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like,
Let me replay
if you
this.
kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean?
Like, he's just being very unapologetic, and it became like all of his videos after this. Like 90% of his videos become responding to.
And I got eyes on the back of my head, I got eyes everywhere, so I know where you going. I can drop ties in this bitch.
This is cringe, by the way, too. I know I'm attacking Bryce Hall a lot for like the Trump support and everything, but this is also cringe. This is.
I can drop ties in this bitch.
Yeah, this is crazy. Would you guys be shocked if I told you that those influencers got like 10K a pop just to do that stupid video? Whoever's controlling the Democratic Party's marketing budget, it needs to be fired, because who's seeing that video and they're like, huh, yeah, I think I'm Democrat now. 10K a pop is generous, but I'm saying it's not a shock that the Democratic Party is paying C-class or D-class influencers and celebrities to promote their side, but...
He's getting mad at that, but the Republican Party is literally doing that too, with like F class. I'd say, yeah, these influencers are like D class, but literally the Republican Party is like basically creating influencers or people that fell off so hard that they have no choice but to be paid for by the Republican Party. And I'm not sure, I can't say if Bryce is getting money for any of this. I mean, he's getting to go to the Trump rallies and he's speaking at the Trump rallies, but, you know, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, which is what we're going to be talking about later, by the way. We've got to get to the Johnny Valentine story first, but then we're going to be following up with everything going on with the influencer marketing for both of these campaigns.
I mean, this video, come on.
Where you going?
Imagine I did this video, reunited all the Sway boys, we took our shirts off, started doing the Renegade, and we were like, yo guys, you gotta get up and vote for the Harris party. Gotta vote for Kamala Harris. For these guys, it's just another day in the office, especially that dude in the video. I see that guy doing splits on it. Like seriously, so many splits, like literally gagging on it. If I did that video, would you guys want to get up from scrolling on TikTok to go vote?
See, the thing is, he's doing that. You were making video after video supporting Trump. You're just doing it in a different format. And you literally used to be the influencers, which is what I don't get. He's attacking these kids who were his age when he was doing the dance videos, and he's making fun of them for doing the exact same content. Like, I know he's probably disowned his old self completely, but it's just like, I don't know. It just seems very hypocritical as well. I think we got one more video. Nope, we already watched that one. All right. So after all this is when he got to go up on the Trump rally and speak about everything, which just made this trend a lot more, and a lot more people talk about it. But now Bryce has started beef with these Gen Z lib content creators, specifically Harry Sisson. So we're gonna watch Harry Sisson's video that he responded to.
So you think he's
What happened first is Bryce mentioned Harry Sisson. So Harry Sisson just didn't come out of nowhere. It was like Bryce specifically attacked him on the podcast, I believe for the note.
And Harry Sisson being involved in the DNC and promoting it for money, like the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Do you think that's weird?
Who are the people?
Harry Sisson, who was born in Singapore,
Okay.
and Indiana, who was born in Australia. Do you think it's weird that they were doing a TikTok dance at the DNC promoting?
So for people that don't know, that's Bryce Hall. And Bryce, I'm gonna talk to you for a second. I know this is hard for like a strange narcissistic LA TikToker to hear, but you're very much out of your depth here. First of all, nobody was paid to be at the DNC. I don't know where you got that from. Second of all, I didn't do any TikTok dances at the DNC. And third of all, I'm an American citizen. I was born abroad in Singapore, as I've talked about before, but I was born to American parents, which means I'm American by birth. Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, a Republican elected official, was born in Canada, but he was a native-born American citizen by birth because that's how citizenship works. You should read up on the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. But also, Bryce, your turn toward Donald Trump is like the most expected thing ever. We could have seen...
Yeah, no, that's one thing I will agree on. It's like everyone already knew he was a Trump supporter, but like now he's just like, he's making it his whole content. And it's like, you know, I knew Bryce was a Trump supporter the whole time, but I didn't hate him. I didn't dislike him. I still like enjoyed his content. I still like watching his videos. But when you are going to make your whole personality Trump, it's like you're throwing your whole media empire away. You have hundreds or actually probably billions of views on TikTok, and hundreds of millions, not hundreds of millions of followers, but tens of millions of followers. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense.
Have seen this coming from a mile away. You're like this TikTok guy living in California who has a bunch of money and is very ignorant about politics. You don't really know what you're talking about. But Bryce, I'm sure you love the fact...
Also, I don't like Harry Sisson either. I think he's cringe. I think he's too diehard for the Democrats when there's no reason to be.
The fact that Donald Trump has been found liable for assaulting women. I'm sure you're happy about the fact that he was found guilty of 34 felonies. And I'm sure you love the fact that he was found liable for extensive business fraud, has to pay like $500 million in business fraud fines. I'm sure you love all of that stuff. Now, Bryce, it's all nice and fine that you go on these podcasts and you talk about Trump and you post videos on your page about Trump. But why don't you come debate me? I do these TikTok live debates all the time.
And he's trying to milk content as well. It's just everybody milking content after milking content. It's like Bryce is trying to revive his account by out about being pro-Trump, and Harry steps in. He's like, wait a second, this is my domain, this is my niche. Bryce, make some content with me. It's just a big giant circle of content creation, which I can't hate, but also it's just like, it makes everything disingenuous. And I think the best creators are people who are actually going to be genuine and making content because they love it, not because they're like, oh, this is going to get the max amount of views and everything, right? But that was Harry's first video responding to him. Bryce came back very quickly after to respond.
And Bryce, I'm gonna talk to you for a second. I know this is hard for like a strange narcissistic LA TikToker to hear, but you're very much out of your depth here. Your turn toward Donald Trump is like the most expected thing ever. We could have seen this coming from a mile away. You're like this TikTok guy living in California who has a bunch of money and is very ignorant about politics. You don't really know what you're talking about. But why don't you come debate me? I do these TikTok live debates all the time.
Oh man, you're such a joke. It actually pains me how much of like an embarrassment you are. I do these TikTok lives where I debate people for tips. I mean, for education. I know it's
He's kind of right there, not gonna lie.
totally, brother. I would love to hear you gag on Biden while a TikTok galaxy is popping up in my face talk. You say the DNC is not paying you to promote their side, but it's literally public knowledge that the DNC is paying influence.
No, I will say this. I don't think Harry Sisson's getting paid. He might be. He very well might be. But from what I've seen from the Democratic Party, as far as how they're paying influencers, which we're going to talk about more later, it seems like they're paying the people who aren't really even into politics. They're trying to get people into politics that have never been into it before by paying them. Harry Sisson, he's going to do all this for free. You know, same with Hassan Abi. He did not get paid to go to the DNC. He made his own way there. He just got invited. Both of them, I feel like, are not getting paid because it specifically seems like the ones I have seen come out that have getting paid, they don't make political content. It's not their niche. The people whose niche it is, they're going to do it for free. They don't need money.
Influencers. So yeah, maybe you didn't get paid to go to the DNC because you're not relevant enough, but they are paying to spread some kind of message. But I don't know if a TikTok trend is enough to win people over. Wow, that's weird. They have over $300 million in fall ad reservations alone. I wonder what they're going to be spending that money on. Maybe they're going to up your pay because like you're still doing TikTok tip debates. So they're obviously not paying you enough.
Okay, so yeah. That was Bryce Hall's first response, but nowhere his last because Harry Sisson comes back again.
Know what you're talking about. But why don't you come debate me? I do these TikTok live debates all the time.
Oh man, you're such a joke. It actually pains me how much of like an embarrassment you are. I do these TikTok lives where I debate people for tips. I mean, for education. I know, totally, brother. I would love to hear you gag on Biden while a TikTok galaxy is popping up in my face.
I gotta be honest, Bryce, that was probably the most creative way I've ever seen anybody dodge a debate, so props to you. Look, if you don't know what you're talking about, you can't stand in your own policy positions and your beliefs, that would be way easier. You should just say that instead of doing an impression and making yourself look like a total fool. What are you, 5? You in the middle school playground again? My God. I also love how you didn't respond to a single thing I said about Donald Trump, about him being a felon, an assaulter, a fraudster, but again, you probably just don't know anything about that.
Face talk. You say the DNC is not paying you to promote their side, but it's literally public knowledge that the DNC is paying influencers.
You then proceeded to show a bunch of articles, none of which mention me. I don't get paid by the DNC. I dunk on people.
Yep, I knew he didn't get paid by the DNC. He's going to do it for free. He's like, please let me make content to do with my life. This is how I get views. This is how I get money. I don't need anything from you guys. Just please let me just make as much content as possible about Democrats. But yeah, like I said, we'll get into it in a little bit. It's on the docket. But that was the
like you for free. It's just
Second
kind of fun, isn't
reply by
it?
Harry?
So maybe jump out of politics for a second.
But Bryce,
Galaxies popping up in my face.
I gotta be honest, Bryce, that
it's turning into a massive beef now between Harry and
was
Bryce.
probably the most creative way I've ever seen anybody dodge a debate, so props to you.
Dude, do you like listen to you? Like, do you ever just listen to your voice? Like, have you seen what a vagina looks like? Listen, Harry, I'll do your little TikTok tip debate stream or whatever the fuck and step into your world if you step into mine. Spar me for one round. I get to punch you in the face a little bit just because you need it. And I'll debate you and you can say all the shit that you want to say to me. You also said that I didn't acknowledge what you said about Trump, which I kind of did without saying it. I mean, I guess you're just one of those people that see stuff on the internet and you're like, oh, duh, that's true. I also relate to this standard because there's also many false news articles about myself out there. I mean, literally, that's one of the biggest ones. I never pissed on anyone, but these are the credible sources that you're getting all your information from and all of your arguments. So
at this point, it's like, I don't think either of them are necessarily credible. I think Bryce's article he cited, like, it's not connected to Harry at all, and like you can just by assumption assume Harry's not getting paid. Bryce's article, I don't know. 2020 TikTok news was crazy, and there was a lot of lies out there.
He's still going.
I gotta
Harry
be honest,
responds
Bryce,
to
that was
this.
probably the most creative way I've ever seen anybody dodge debate, so props to you.
dude, do you like listen to you? Like, do you ever just listen to your voice? Like, have you seen what a vagina looks like? Listen, Harry.
Bryce, I genuinely don't think that you could name the 7 continents off the top of your head. I don't even think you can name like 10 US states. You just sound so unintelligent every time you speak. It's actually like painful to listen to you talk about anything, like any topic at all. Also, Bryce, you're like a grown man. You're like 26, 25 years old. The best thing you could come up with is, oh, have you ever seen, like, my point from my last video stands. You're mentally stuck on a middle school playground, you know, both emotionally, morally, and certainly intellectually.
I'll do your little TikTok tip debate stream or whatever the fuck.
I think Harry is responding exactly how Bryce wants him to respond as well. Bryce is not going to. You can't own Bryce by saying, "Oh, he's not educated enough," or "He's not smart enough." That's not how Bryce is. Bryce is not going to be like, "Oh, you got me from that." He's going to be like, "Look at this nerd talking," you know. So it's like, they're both responding in a way. Bryce is responding in a way that will make Harry mad. Harry is responding in a way that gives Bryce more ammo to make fun of him. So, Harry, you got to stop embarrassing yourself. But, however, I will say we're going to get ready to get into something that was a good move by Harry.
And step into your world if you step into mine. Spar me for 1 round. I get to punch you in the face a little bit just because you need it. And I'll debate you and you can say all the shit that you want to say to me.
Look, 2 things. Number 1, I think you calling fighting your world is so funny. Because haven't you lost like multiple fights? Weren't you the guy who said, I'm a fighter, and then you lost and you said, I never claimed I'm a fighter? That's you, right? Now listen, Bryce, I got to admit, this spar offer is actually kind of enticing. I boxed for 4 years pretty religiously. I enjoy martial arts just generally, but I see what you're doing.
Didn't know Harry had that in him. Didn't know Harry has ever touched a weight or been in a gym. But 4 years of boxing?
Here, and I don't think I want to play into the game. You're obviously trying to become a right-wing grifter. You know, you had like all this.
That's what I was talking about earlier. That's my main problem with Bryce in this whole situation is he's just grifting. He's just like his TikTok has fallen off. The solution is let me become a right-wing grifter, and eventually he's going to become like the Steven Crowders, Ben Shapiro's of the world if he keeps this up, because this is literally all his content, and nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to, especially his audience, his Gen Z audience, nobody wants to sit and listen to a man who's not educated in politics at all, sit and try to talk about politics and justify it. You were the dance boy. You did little TikTok dances in the Renegade and everything. Go back to doing that, or create something just as entertaining. But what Bryce is trying to do is just ride a wave of money from right-wing content, and I think it's going to backfire on him.
Social media fame, but you're still very much desperate for attention, so you turn to politics hoping to make some money, you know, get some followers, and I get it, you know what I mean. You'll probably be selling like supplements in a week or 2, but I don't know if I want to be part of your pivot.
I'm surprised he has not already done that. When he started boxing, I could have 100% seen him doing Bryce Hall supplements, and if it had good branding, I'll probably sucker for that stuff.
Grifter world. I'm not sure if that's like what I think is valuable with time. But how about this? How about we debate now, anytime, anywhere, whatever you want, and then maybe we'll talk about a spar after the election when things will kind of settle down, so you don't get to like monetize off of it. Sounds good? Wonderful.
So that was a solid reply from Harry. I think challenging Bryce to a boxing match is the only way you're going to possibly get to him, and but now that beef is fully active, he continues to just keep talking and
I'm getting a ton of hate right now, and I guess let's just address it. If you're not hating on me, I guess this video doesn't matter to you. I love you. But if you're hating on me and you're making videos, countless videos about me, here's just my response. There's too many to like make individual responses to, so I'm just gonna do like one collective response. You hurt my feelings. I've been crying myself to sleep every single night and thinking about the hate comments and videos you got.
he's just unapologetic when this is exactly everything he wanted, and he's just trying to continue to rage bait people, honestly.
Guys are making about me. If your goal is to make a grown man cry, it is working. I'm sorry I offended you.
Okay, but anyway, out of nowhere, with this beef, Dean jumps into the ring. If you don't know Dean, he recently got really 20 or 25 conservatives versus him, and he just dominated that. So he's been his clips going viral around TikTok right now, and he jumps into the ring right after that first Jubilee video drops. So perfect time for him as well.
So I've been watching this ongoing feud go down between Harry Sisson and Bryce Hall, with Harry Sisson calling Bryce Hall out to debate him on politics, with Bryce Hall then running away from Harry Sisson, telling Harry that he will only debate him if Harry boxes him first. Now I want to make it clear, I don't blame Harry for not boxing Bryce. He's a political commentator, not a UFC fighter, and Bryce is an absolute joke. But now I, on the other hand, have a couple screws loose. I just got done debating Charlie Kirk, and I think Bryce Hall's next. Quite the step down, but I'm having fun with it. So Bryce, how about you give me the same energy you've been giving Chris and Harry? You probably didn't want someone much more intelligent than you to take you up on your offer in the ring before a debate, but here we are. It's your move.
Yeah, so Dean comes out of nowhere and says, I will box you as well. I will fight you. Immediately responds to this as well.
So I've been watching this ongoing feud go down between Harry Sisson and Bryce Hall, telling Harry that he will only debate him if Harry boxes him first. But now I, on the other hand, have a couple screws loose. You probably didn't want someone much more intelligent than you to take you up on your offer in the ring before a debate, but here we are.
I have no idea who you are. I watched 3.
It's just like he just went viral. He just went insanely viral. So giving this reply doesn't work
Your videos
because everyone knows who who Dean is now. Aiden Ross just invited Dean on his stream, and Aiden Ross is bigger than Bryce. So Bryce.
Tomato. You guys are like the same. I'm down. Sure. Bro was talking like that. Being so exquisite and intelligent as me.
Once again, I was talking about this earlier with Harry. He's doing the same thing with Dean. It's just like he wants a dumb response. The dummy response of boxing is the way to get what's actually working, and you see it kind of fall apart here. But he doesn't do the nerd stuff. He's not going to respond to that properly. But anyway, Bryce accepts that boxing match with Dean. And then Dean, once again, responds to what Bryce just said.
Hey guys, Bryce Hall is running away from me. So about a week and a half ago, I called him out to box me, then to debate me, and he said that he was down in a video response, and he even texted me on Instagram. So then I texted him back to see if he was free on the 14th or 15th to do this thing, and guess what? It's been a week and I still have not gotten a response. This guy thinks he's tough. He's been chirping at a couple of my friends, such as Harry Sisson, but apparently he doesn't want the smoke from me. So
good response from Dean, calling him out, saying, hey, you're not boxing me. I challenged you to a box. You accepted it, and now you've gone quiet now that TikTok's not asking about it.
This guy thinks he's tough. He's been chirping at a couple of my friends, such as Harry Sisson. Bryce Hall is running away from me.
Bad response. Because Dean,
I was just so
this is an old picture of Dean. Dean's got a sleeper build. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. Dean is jacked, actually. No way I'm gonna be able to find his Instagram right now. Hold on, I want to show you guys how jacked Dean is, because I was shocked. I thought this guy was a stick. I thought he was a literal stick. And then, oh, there it is. Let me try to zoom in on that. Look at that man. That man's got the biggest bicep I've ever seen on anybody. That's crazy. Like, honestly, like, where is Bryce Hall? Bryce Hall is not as jacked as that. Dean's got the sleeper build. Dean looks like a stick when he's just chilling, but he's the real deal. He's actually crazy. I'm glad he made that his profile picture, because otherwise I wouldn't know. But honestly, I want to see this fight, because people have been saying, you know, Bryce Hall would still probably win this. He's trained a lot more for it and everything. But I think it's a lot more fair match. I thought originally that Dean was just going to get absolutely pummeled, which Dean himself is also expecting, by the way. But I think it could be a fair match. I want to see it happen.
I was just so scared. Well, you caught me. All jokes aside, do you really think that I was trying to run away from you? Like you in your mind, you thought I was trying to duck this because I was scared of you? To answer your DMs a week later, sorry, I don't check my DMs like a 14-year-old girl, but yes, I'm down. October 14th or 15th.
You can't make that excuse. Come on, bro. You can't make the excuse. I don't check my DMs. You were literally talking back and forth through DMs. That is a way of response for you. You just chose to not reply once you got a date for it. But let's go back.
October 14th or 15th, whatever time you want. I just get to make content beating the crap out of you. Just to warn you about what do you think is going to happen? Do you think, like, you're going to get some shots on me and I'll quit? Like, what's going through your mind doing this? Like, is it for content, virality, exposure? Like, I get that. Views are views or whatever, but I'm a 210-pound man, and you're, I'll be generous, 160, 170? Like,
he's not 160. Or, I don't know.
If anything, I'm looking out for you.
I need to see, I don't know how tall Dean is. I think he might be a little shorter. But he's definitely, if he's like 6 foot, he's way more than 160. He's minimum like 190. Did Dean respond to this yet? He was supposed to debate Sneeko on Aiden Ross's stream, but oh wait, all right. This is the most recent response yesterday. And that in a second.
What do you think is going to happen? I'm a 210-pound man, and you're, I'll be generous, 160, 170? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Great question, Bryce, and I got a great answer. When we box, I'm going to lose.
Like, look at this. First off, look at this. Look at his build right now. He does not look like the same guy in the profile picture. I don't see no massive biceps on this. This is the biggest sleeper build.
60 pounds out of my weight class. My goal isn't to beat you in the ring. My goal.
He said 60 pounds out of his weight class. Whatever. How much does Bryce Hall? 203. There's no way. Oh wait, this is 165. There's no way. Did Bryce say earlier how much he weighs? Hold on. Because that would make Dean 100 pounds.
I was just so scared. Well, you caught me. All jokes aside, do you really think that I was trying to run away from you? Like you in your mind, you thought I was trying to duck this because I was scared of you? To answer your DMs a week later, sorry, I don't check my DMs like a 14-year-old girl, but yes, I'm down. October 14th or 15th, whatever time you want. I just get to make content beating the crap out of you. Just to warn you about what do you think is going to happen? Do you think like you're going to get some shots on me and I'll quit? Like what's going through your mind doing this? Like is it for content, virality, exposure? Like I get that. Views or whatever, but I'm a 210-pound man.
210 pounds. He's got 60 pounds on him. Dean weighs 150. There's no way. Dean's got to be like 5'5". There's no way. Dean is 150. He's got to be like 5'5", because like we saw his profile picture. He's got muscle. He's got a lot of muscle. Like, my arms have never been that big. They've been close. But even then, like, I'm like over 6 foot and I weighed like 180 with smaller arms than Dean's. So Dean's got to be like 5'5". There's no way.
My goal is to beat you in a debate, and I'm so dedicated to my craft that I will literally fight for it. I value hundreds of thousands of people seeing you, a mini celebrity that has publicly endorsed Trump and even spoken at his rallies, getting absolutely exposed for not knowing anything about Donald Trump, what he's done for our country.
I don't know how Dean's strategy is going to work here. He's saying, I'm going to get in the ring and get beat up and destroyed, and then somehow defeat this fight is. I don't necessarily understand his strategy about that. Like, we don't need you to go fight in the ring to know Bryce Hall has no clue what he's talking about. And you're not going to change anybody's mind by doing that, right? I don't get it.
Or how he would further hurt our country more than I value losing in a boxing match to someone 60 pounds out of my weight class. You're going to prove that you could beat someone in a boxing match that's half your size. I'm going to prove that some of the biggest creators on the internet today that are endorsing Trump are doing so.
No. I got it now. So the only way Bryce was willing to debate Dean and do a live debating was by accepting the boxing match. So Dean's going to get beat up so he can get a guest for content. Not a terrible strategy. I'd like to see which one comes first. I'm guessing since their fight would be, 14, 15 days out or less, that it's probably the fight's going to come first, then the debate, which is not the best strategy, in my opinion, because I think like the debate should lead up to the fight. Because when Dean gets completely beat up, mostly because he's short, honestly, I think that's going to be the reason. Nobody's going to want to tune into the verbal debate after. It's like, oh, this guy already got beat up and destroyed. Like, well, no one's going to care about the words anymore. I think like the verbal debate should come first. And then if Dean actually wins the fight, then he's double dominated.
In total and complete ignorance and do not have a thought between their eyes. So let's do it, man. I'm super excited. I'll DM you.
So, did Bryce respond to this yet? I doubt it. Let's see.
When I say this, I am saying this with my full fucking chest. There is nobody on the internet that gives me a visceral reaction such as this other than Bryce Hall. You know when you get angry and like you start to shake a little bit and your heart rate rises? Every time I see his video.
All right, I don't care. So yeah, that is the beef. He started with Harry Sisson, then he went to Dean. Honestly, you want my opinion on this? If you're Bryce Hall, you have over 20 million followers on TikTok. And for some reason, your main ops are Harry Sisson, and Dean, a bunch of lib content creators that are niched down. Why are you, as this massive creator, getting in these little fights and these little arguments, besides the fact you've completely grifted? And if that's the case, you're not going to have those 20 million followers forever. You're going to lose. The more and more you go down this rabbit hole of becoming this niche Republican grifter content creator, you're not going to keep those. You've got a movie coming out. You're not going to continue to get those movie deals either. You're like screwing yourself on all ends. And that's not what makes sense to me. If I was Bryce, I would have kept quiet about this. You know, if you want to talk about it a little, go ahead. Logan Paul does it great. Logan Paul has not become a giant Republican grifter, despite the fact that he had Trump on his podcast. But this is kind of all you're doing, and now you're fighting Dean and Harry, and what have you become? How far have you fallen? Anyways, that was Bryce Hall's situation. So, but before we get into that, before we get into the next topic, I need to take a quick pee break. So, what can I put on? We're going to get into the next topic, and it's going to be Johnny Valentine here. So, we're going to be talking about that in a second. Let me transition now to the full screen, or excuse me, the screen share. There we go. So this is Johnny Valentine, and we're going to be talking about all of his genius in a second. For those who don't remember who Johnny Valentine used to be, mostly because I didn't remember, he has some major viral videos before his first viral trend, which is his new viral trend is doing amazing for him, but he previously was already really popular for stuff specifically like this.
Hey mom, hey dad, I'm here celebrating my birthday today. I got my favorite, the cheesecake. I really wish you guys could be here with me today.
So yeah, long on my pee break. But that's who Johnny Valentine used to be. Now, if you don't recognize this name, you definitely recognize the face, because this man has been all over everybody's For You page, specifically because of these types of videos. Anyway, yeah, that's what he does. This is Stare Rizz, or Silent Rizz, as the comments have been calling it. He does not have to speak a word. Fall in love with him. Obviously, all of these are staged. They come off as very genuine, though, which is great. And yeah, so this has been going very viral. Millions of views on every single one of his videos recently. He did the trend with Dancing with the Stars as well. And he gets all the tens. It's amazing. It's great. He's been doing this literally every single video for a long time now. He did it with a lot of major TikTok Vine influencers as well. This one was a massive one, 13.8 million on this one, 17.6 million on this one. This one was one of the first ones I saw personally. Hold on, I want to try this. Let's see. Give me a second. All right, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. All right. So, Alright, that's enough cringe for today. Not when anybody else does. But these have been going massively viral, all of these videos. And what you probably don't know is the song that's playing in every single one of these videos is his song. So it's called Slip Away by Johnny Valentine. You take a look and this has starting to go viral on TikTok, has 17.8 thousand videos, solely because he himself has decided to create this. And actually, let me pull this up on Spotify, and let me look at the numbers on this. If it'll open. Spotify is a little difficult. All right, let's see. Johnny Valentine. All right, here he is. Slip Away has 3.3 million streams on Spotify, and Slip Away Slowed has 1.4 million streams on Spotify. This song, I think this song was popular too, actually. Let me... I thought he made one other viral song. Maybe not. I thought he had made one other big song, but obviously Slip Away is by far his biggest two songs right now, just the slowed version as well. And this is genius, you know, because personally, watching these videos, you may not really know that that's his song. You just hear the song and you're starting to connect it with a vibe, connect it with sort of being well known as well, right? The first or second time you hear it, you may not recognize it, but then when you start hearing it all the time, you're like, that's the Stair Rizz guy, right? Which is, it's genius marketing, honestly. I love this type of marketing. This is exactly how you shift careers, because he used to be massive on TikTok as well. All of his most popular videos are not the Stair videos, you know. They're all these old TikTok videos that he used to make back when he used to be a cringe little young boy. But now he's changed his look. And he's going viral on every single one of these videos. There's not a single video that you skip. I never skip a Johnny Valentine video. He's elite. He's great. And it's causing him to get so many streams on Spotify. So this is how you really propel yourself as an artist who was already an influencer. It's genius. I love it. Johnny Valentine is amazing. He's great. All right, so that's all I really got to say about Johnny Valentine. Not much to cover there. Rizz is goated. And now we have one more topic to get into today. We're about an hour into this stream. Just a short little stream, unfortunately. Not much to cover really besides the Bryce Hall stuff. So now we're going to get into influencers in politics. Let me pull up this Wired article. Let me do the screen share. There we go. So this is sort of like a little bit of a continuation of what we covered earlier with Bryce Hall accusing Harry Sisson of getting paid by the Democrat Party. This is an article by The Wire that's a visual guide to influencers shaping the 2024 election, from Hassan Piker to Logan Paul. This interactive display map shows online personalities on the right and the left using their massive following to influence the U.S. election. So we go down here, and this map shows off the influence on the left, and then we also have a influence on the right. So as you can see, taking a look at the right, Elon Musk is a massive person on here, and obviously he's not being paid by the Republican Party. He's one of the richest men on the planet. Why does he need to get paid? So it's kind of going back. There's multiple reasons that the campaigns would not pay these influencers, both Republican Party and Democrat Party, and they all have specific different reasons. Like Elon Musk does not need to be paid by the Republican campaign, by the Trump campaign. Tucker Carlson obviously doesn't. Ben Shapiro doesn't. Charlie Kirk doesn't. These are guys that don't need to get paid at all. You'll look on the left side of politics, you'll find a very similar reason. Hassan Piker, Harry Sisson, these types of guys don't need to be paid by the left because they're going to make the content anyways. It's their niche. On the right, it's a bit more established, traditional media, and then on the left, you've got a little bit more newer age influencers and everything. So these are the people that don't need to get paid at all, really. And as you can see, overall, Elon Musk, just massive follower count because of owning X. And basically, X as a platform is a right-wing support for Donald Trump. But we take a look at some of these smaller influencers. You'll have a bit more recognizable names on the right than you do the left when it comes to just general basic influencers. So we were talking about Bryce Hall earlier. Also on this list is Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Aiden Ross, as well as the Nelk Boys are on here as well. People like Tim Pool, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, once again, Candace Owens. They're the type where they do not need to be paid at all. Nick Fuentes obviously does not and will not ever get paid by the Republican Party. We look at the exact same thing on the left. Most of these people are already dedicated to covering things. Harry Sisson is a diehard lib. He's always going to be supporting whoever that Democrat ticket picks to cover things. Some of these people are also a bit more critical, like Hassan Piker. Obviously got invited to the DNC and kicked out at the DNC and never paid by the DNC because he is critical of Kamala Harris and critical of what's going on. So it doesn't really make sense for them to ever pay him. And also, once again, he's going to do it for free. So this is a little bit of a guide. I think most of these people on this list do not get paid at all. And I think this guide that was made by The Wire is, specifically more focused around who is more niche down. But, you are seeing on the right a lot more general influencers shifting over. But there's also a New York Times article covering this, specifically about how campaigns pay influencers to carry their messages, skirting around political ad rules. We're going to get a little bit into this because there isn't like a clear rules around paying influencers for, you know, how they promote the Democrat or Republican Party, how they promote a candidate, the same way there is around TV rules or celebrity endorsements and everything. So some are even spreading their message through dating apps. That's probably the date the right stuff. This article made by Stephanie Lai, we're going to get into this. In between post showing himself doing ladder drills and lifting weights, Kaiwan Dukes, a 20-year-old wide receiver at Johnson C. Smith University, tells his 21,000 influencer followers to vote. He also discussed gun control and abortion rights as part of a campaign he is paid to participate in Next Gen America. Now, Next Gen America is specifically working with the Democrat Party as sort of like a middleman, as like an agency to pay the influencers. So they pay Next Gen America, and then the money gets sort of like dispersed out to the different influencers, right? Luke Stone was a contestant on The Bachelor. He was also part of the Democratic PAC, American Bridge that got paid. Grace Hunter, $4 million on TikTok, got paid for her little sponsored campaign of Hot Girls Vote. I wouldn't call these micro influencers, like 4 million followers, come on. But yeah, a lot of these people are paid hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars per post to circulate political messages. Also, this is an older article, by the way. This is, I think this was covering the midterms, people getting paid during the midterms. So it's not even like picked up for the presidential race yet. But you know, young voters tend to skew towards Democrats voting for Biden over Trump, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, Next Gen PAC set aside about $2 million during this campaign cycle for its digital strategy and influencer programs. Keep in mind, this was for the midterm. They set around $2 million to pay influencers. Imagine how much they're paying influencers now for the presidential race, which is by far more important, by far has more money going to it, so it's extremely important. So yeah, let me see if I can find one other specific article I was looking at earlier. Bryce Hall also referenced an article in one of his videos. Paid by Kamala. Politico. Great. That's exactly what I was looking for. All right. Influencers standing Kamala and along the way. So this bring the DNC that recently happened where Kamala accepted the nomination. And at the DNC, they had a creator lounge where all the creators could come in and get special amenities. They got special press passes. I think they were specifically influencer passes, so it's different from the regular press. So I think this is why this article is referencing the press getting a little infuriated because these influencers don't have to follow journalism rules and are getting a little bit of special treatment in a way that neither celebrities or the press necessarily get. So, getting into this article, the creator-only space inside the convention hall. There's also a blue carpet where creators have done interviews. Despite decidedly drab appearances, have still caused among journalists. 15,000 journalists went to the I mean, that's a lot though. The Republican convention had about 70 influencers. I already know the DNC had way more. Definitely so many. It was basically like a little TwitchCon or VidCon with all the creators. Harry Sisson was there. Once again, he probably did not get paid. There was the little kid, the 12-year-old that does interviews, really good interviews, by the way. He got into an argument with Mike Lindell during this. I was looking for if they gave specific numbers in this article. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Yeah, none of them. So here's the thing. My personal opinion on this, with the influencers getting paid necessarily for to do these campaigns, it's like any other ad. People are criticizing this and saying like, oh, this is like off limits or something, or these people have to get paid for their opinion. It's the same way that you would pay for ad time on a television network. Does that television network automatically endorse you because you're running an ad on their platform? It's the same with these influencers. They have their own platforms, they have their own viewers, and this is just the new modern age of how they have to get that out. Just like with every other partnership, if you promote a bad product, you're going to get backlash from it. You're going to lose followers. And sometimes there's people that truly already believe in that product or believe in that candidate who are, going to get, deal with like some of the same backlash from either promoting a product or service or, doing these influencer ads. And it since it's political, it causes a lot more eyeballs and criticism around it. So I don't necessarily have a problem with any candidate doing these endorsements, doing these partnerships, whether that's for Trump or for Kamala. Go make your money. Go collect your bag. But I think the issue is that a lot of these people need to understand that there's going to be consequences behind that. You got to be careful with not alienating part of your audience by taking one of these deals. If hey, my audience majority supports Kamala, it doesn't make sense to go take some money from Trump and make a TikTok post about Trump and then freak out when you start losing a lot of followers. So I think it's important to protect your brand and protect what you actually believe in and be the most authentic version of yourself. So if you're going to take money from these people, I'd say you should already be supporting them. If I come November am most likely going to be voting for Kamala, she could say something tomorrow that makes me lose that vote, though. I'm not diehard for her. But if Trump came to me and said, hey, I'm going to pay you money to do this YouTube video, I wouldn't do it because it goes against my brand. Personally, I don't believe in it or want to back it, and I think it's not morally the best thing to do. But, that same money coming in from the Kamala campaign, I'm like, I would love to do that. I'm not necessarily going to make a post about you otherwise, but like, if you're going to send that money and I'm already, sort of like supporting your campaign already, then might as well take that money. So I don't understand necessarily a lot of the backlash that this has gotten from this, especially when Bryce Hall brought it up against Harry. It's like, okay, cool. Harry got a bag for something he already has created his full brand around, but he didn't get paid. He does that stuff for free. So it's like, I don't hate it. I'm not fully against it, and I think it's great. I think it's great for the creator economy, for more ways to monetize yourself, to get people more active in politics, especially Gen Z. Gen Z is the lowest voting block out of all the major generations right now. So I think it's a big deal to get Gen Z a bit more active, and if that is doing a stupid little TikTok dance in front of a stage that causes someone to go out and vote, or if it's Taylor Swift posting a picture with her cat that makes people go out to vote, then I'm down for it. I don't see an issue with it. But yeah, guys, with that being said, had some technical difficulties on this stream. First stream ever. But this was the first one, just covering a bit of creator news. I'm going to try to do this once a week. I'll also condense this down into a few clips for you guys to watch as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We didn't necessarily have an active chat for this, which was fine. we're slowly building back. This was streamed both on Twitch and YouTube, by the way. It seems like YouTube did a little bit better as I expected. But yeah, I mean, I'll be back soon. I hope you guys tune in again, whoever's watching right now. I'll be back with more content, more news to cover. And if you have anything you want to suggest, always feel free to comment it somewhere or try to send me a message about it. And if it's interesting and I want to cover it, I'll get to it. But that's going to be all for today. Thank you for tuning into this stream, and I will see you later.